Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Before we get started, please click the subscribe button and leave a like, alright? Enjoy!
Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Arisakif bin Omar.
My name is Nur Afini Arifah binti Agizal. We are
The Malaysian Negotiators.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Arif Ulfa.
My name is Nurul Husna,
We are
the Arabian Negotiator.
So welcome to our group project video on cross-cultural management in Saudi Arabia.
We choose Saudi Arabia because it is one of Malaysian closest partner in trade, investment and education. It so undergoing massive reform under Vision 2030 and opening even more opportunities for collaboration.
while both countries are Muslim majority, our business culture are not identical. For Malaysian, this means we cannot assume Islamic similarity. We make everything the same. There are still many differences in negotiation, communication, and decision making.
And that's why we are here today. Understanding these cultural differences help us avoid misunderstanding, reduce conflict and build stronger partnership.
In this video, we will present 5 scenarios through short role play: negotiation, bargaining, decision making, communication and conflict management. Each followed by an explanation of cultural context and lesson we can learn. Assalamualaikum, Mr. Ulfa.
Oh, Waalaikumsalam, Mr. Rais. Have a seat.
Alright, thank you.
Welcome to Riyadh, Mr. Rais. It's been an honor to meet you. Before we start our business, please tell me the journey come here.
Thank you, Mr. Ulfa. The journey was smooth and actually I was prepared to share the proposal with you today.
Mr. Rais, there is no rush because in our culture, we believe that trust must come before contracts. I would like to know you first. Do you have any family back home?
Yes, I do. My family is very important to me. And I see now that you also value relationship as the foundation.
Exactly. Where we know the person, we can know the business. It's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that when partnership is built in sincerity.
I understand, Mr. Ulfa. Then perhaps today, instead of we rushing through details, we can discuss our long-term vision.
From this roleplay, we can clearly see that in Saudi Arabia, negotiation is not just about the business deal, it is about the relationship behind the deal. Let me explain why this is important. In Saudi Arabia, negotiation begins with personal trust building. Meetings often start with conversation about family, health, or travel before moving to contracts. This reflects a collectivist culture where knowing the person is seen as more reliable than written agreements. By contrast, in Malaysia, while relationship matters, we tend to get to the agenda faster and often rely more on documents and contracts to secure trust. So, the first lesson here is Malaysians must slow down and show genuine personal interest before diving into figures. Another key factor is time perception. In Malaysia, we usually follow strict timelines and structures agenda. In Saudi Arabia, however, time is more flexible and fluid. Rushing a meeting can be seen as disrespectful, as it implies that building trust is less important than the contract. Saudis are comfortable with negotiations stretching across multiple sessions because they see it as investing in their relationship. This means that Malaysians must manage expectation. If we expect to close the deal in one meeting, we may be disappointed. Instead, we should be prepared for several meetings where trust gradually deepens. Next, let's talk about communication. Saudis use indirect language to maintain harmony. Phrases like inshallah may mean yes, maybe or no, depending on context and tone. Direct refusal are rare because they may cause embarrassment or loss of face. Malaysians also value politeness, but we tend to give clearer signals when rejecting an idea. For Malaysians, misinterpreting an indirect maybe as a yes could create serious misunderstanding. The insight here is Malaysians must listen carefully, observe tone and body language and avoid pushing for a yes-no answer too quickly. Finally, negotiation in Saudi Arabia often reflect hierarchy. Even if discussion goes smoothly, the final say may rest with the chairman or a senior family member. This shows the strong role of authority in their culture. In Malaysia, while hierarchy matters, managers sometimes have more autonomy. In Saudi Arabia, skipping senior authority is not just ineffective, it is seen as disrespectful. So, to summarize, Saudi negotiation focus on relationship, patience, indirect communication, and respect for hierarchy.
Regarding your proposal, we believe the fair price for phase 1 is 600k riyal.
Thank you for clarifying. However, our current budget is close 360. Could we please adjust the scope or structure of payment?
We cannot compromise on quality, but we can consider flexibility in other areas. Let's say 500k.
That is still high for us. What if we offer 420 with an additional service, adding in price too?
You negotiated well. Let's say 450k, and we will include 2 training sessions.
If you can allow staging payment, could we agree at 450k?
That sounds fair. We have an agreement, inshallah.
In Saudi Arabia, bargaining is not only accepted, it is expected. Negotiation is not a quick transaction, it's a ritual, a tradition, a performance with respect at its core. When a deal begins, it's rarely start with the real price. A seller might open high, a buyer will counter low, then slowly, through passion and persistence, both sides find the middle ground. To outsiders, it may seem like a game, but in Saudi culture, this is how trust is built. This is how relationships are tested. And make no mistake, this does not mean dishonesty. Far from it, bargaining is not deception, it is participation. A culture expectation that both parties will engage, showing flexibility, width, and respect for the process. But beware, refusing to bargain can be dangerous too. What seems professional or efficient in some cultures, stating your best price and walking away, can be seen in Saudi Arabia as arrogance, as a lack of respect, and as a refusal to engage in the dance of negotiation. Saudis, in fact, enjoy the give and take. It is more than business, it is an interaction filled with humor, passion, and even charm. Sometimes a discussion ranges for hours, even days. Yet, within that times, bonds are being formed, trust is being tested, and respect is being earned. Now, let's pause and compare. In Malaysia, corporate world, bargaining often feels uncomfortable. It can come across as unprofessional, even confrontational. Many Malaysians prefer clarity, efficiency, and quick decision. But in Saudi Arabia, the opposite is true. Negotiation is not a hurdle to overcome, it is a pathway to partnership. And when it comes to saying no, here lies another cultural difference. Direct rejection is rare in Saudi Arabia. A blunt refusal could cause embarrassment or loss of dignity for them. Instead, Saudi use softer language. You might hear this. We will think about it. Or the family phrase, Inshallah. To the untrained ear, this may sound like agreement, but in truth, it is often a polite way of saying no or not now. A way to preserve harmony, to avoid conflict, and to keep the relationship intact. So, what does this mean for Malaysians? The key lesson is very clear. Approach bargaining in Saudi Arabia with patience, with politeness, and with creativity. Do not focus only on price. Yes, price matters, but it is only one part of the deal. You must think beyond numbers, add value, offer training for staff, or provide after-sales support. Suggest phase contract that reduce risk. Actually, propose a long-term partnership rather than short-term wins. With this addition show flexibility, creativity, and genuine commitment. And in Saudi culture, that is how you turn negotiation into respect and respect into agreement. Let's take an example. Imagine a Malaysian company offering IT services to a Saudi firm. The Saudi side might push for a lower price instead of cutting costs drastically. The Malaysian team could offer additional training for the client staff or extended technical support at no extra charge. This reframes the conversation. It shifts the focus from how cheap can be to how valuable can this partnership becomes. That shift is the heart of successful bargaining in Saudi Arabia. Ultimately, in this cultural space, negotiation is not a battlefield. It is not about winning or losing. It is a bridge, a process that strengthens the relationship while finding a solution that satisfies both sides. So the next time Malaysians step into Saudi boardroom, they must remember the deal is not just about the contract. It's about connection, it's about passion, it's about creativity, and above all, it's about respect.
So, since we have agreed on the details, can we finalize and sign this agreement?
Let me see the detail first. I appreciate your preparation, Mr. Rice, but in our company, the final approval must come from the chairman. I cannot finalize it alone.
I see. I thought this meeting was the final step.
Don't worry, Mr. Rice. Once the chairman approves, everything will be fine.
I understand now. Perhaps I could prepare a summary to make the chairman reviews easier.
That will be very helpful for me, Mr. Rice. It's a nice to do business with you. It's been a pleasure for me.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Ufa.
What we just acted out shows how decision making in Saudi Arabia is deeply tied to hierarchy. You might have noticed that the Saudi manager in the scene could not make the final decision on his own. He had to defer to the chairman. Now, let me explain why this happens and what it means for Malaysians doing business in Saudi Arabia. Decision making in Saudi Arabia reflects both cultural tradition and organizational structure. The first key point is hierarchy. In most Saudi companies, particularly family-owned businesses, authority flows from the top down. The chairman or senior family member often has the ultimate say in business matters. Managers at lower levels may discuss ideas with you, but their role is usually advisory. They cannot finalize without higher approval. These hierarchy styles align with Hofstede cultural dimensions, which shows that Saudi Arabia scores very high in power distance. This means people generally accept unequal distributions of power. Subordinates expect leaders to make decisions and leaders expect loyalty and respect in return. So, unlike in Malaysia, where middle managers sometimes have authority to close deals, in Saudi Arabia, you must anticipate longer approval chains. The second point is Westa, which refers to personal connection or network. In Saudi business culture, Westa is not seen as corruption. It is considered a normal and respected way of getting things done. If you have a trusted person who can endorse you to decision makers, your proposal has a much greater chance of being accepted quickly. Without Westa, even strong proposal can be delayed. For Malaysians, this means building relationship with influential partners is as important as the quality of your business plan. Third, decision-making in Saudi Arabia is often collectivist in nature. While the final authority may rest with one person, decisions are still influenced by family members, tribal ties, or key advisor. In the roleplay, we saw how the manager explained that the chairman's approval was necessary. In reality, that approval may involve consulting with relative or long-trusted business associate. This collectivist mindset contrasts with more individualistic cultures, where leaders might make quicker, independent decisions. Fourth, religion also shapes decision-making. Islam is central to Saudi life, and many business leaders consider Islamic values when making choices. This can include ensuring fairness, avoiding exploitation, and seeking blessing from Allah in agreements. As a Malaysian, highlighting shared Islamic principles such as honesty, fairness, and long-term trust can make your proposal more appealing to Saudi leaders. Next, Saudi decision-making is also influenced by a long-term orientation. Relationship and reputation are more important than short-term gains. Leaders may delay decision until they are absolutely confident their partnership will last. For Malaysians, this requires patience. Pushing too hard for quick decision can damage trust. While showing respect for the process, it demonstrates cultural sensitivity. Now, how can Malaysians adapt? There are three practical strategies. First, always respect the chain of command. Do not pressure junior managers to decide. This can embarrass them and harm the relationship. Second, invest in building relationships and respect. Attend social events, accept invitations, and show personal respect to senior figures. These small gestures can open doors to higher level approvals. Third, be patient but strategic. Provide clear summaries, written proposal, and supportive evidence so that when the matter reaches the chairman, it is easy to approve. To summarize, decision-making in Saudi Arabia is hierarchical, shaped by wasta, influenced by collectivist values, guided by religion, and oriented towards long-term stability. Malaysians must therefore be patient, respectful, and relationship-focused. By understanding and adapting to these cultural realities, we can improve our chance of building successful and lasting partnership with the Saudi organization.
We are excited to begin this project as soon as possible.
My friend, a small note, please avoid showing the sole of your shoe. Here it may be seen as disrespectful.
Oh sorry, thank you for telling me.
It's okay. Also, in our meetings, we prefer to use titles such as engineer, doctors, because it shows respect.
Understood, I remember that.
Another thing, sometimes we pause and remain silent before answering. It does not mean disagreement, but reflection.
That helped me understood. I will avoid interrupting too quickly.
In Saudi Arabia, communication is not just about the words you say. It is also about how you show respect and understand their culture. People expect formal and polite behavior in the way you speak and in your body language. For example, using titles is very important. If someone is an engineer, a doctor, or a respected leader, you should call them by their titles such as Engineer Ahmed or Dr. Faisal. This shows that you respect their position. If you only use their first name, it might sound too casual and even rude in a formal setting. Body language is also very important. Small actions can have a big meaning. For example, you should never show the sole of your shoes when sitting because in Saudi culture, this is seen as disrespectful. Always use the right hand when greeting someone, passing something, or eating because the left hand is considered unclean. When you talk to someone, keep polite eye contact, but do not stare too much because that can make them feel uncomfortable. Another thing to understand is the meaning of silence. In some culture, silence feels strange or uncomfortable, but in Saudi Arabia, silence shows that person is thinking carefully. If a Saudi person stays quiet before answering, it does not mean they disagree. It means they are taking time to reflect. If you interrupt them while they are silent, it can make you look impatient or disrespectful. Saudis also speak in direct way to avoid sounding too harsh. For example, they often say inshallah, which means God willing. This phrase can mean yes, maybe, or even no, depending on the tone and situation. This style helps keep the conversation polite and avoids argument. In Malaysia, we also care about respect, but the rules for body language and silence are not as strict. We are usually more relaxed with sitting position and greetings. In Saudi Arabia, being formal and careful with these small details is very important. The main lessons here is that Malaysian who wants to work to do business in Saudi Arabia should adapt to these cultural rules, use proper titles, sit politely, respect silence, and understand that indirect phrases are part of their way of keeping harmony. These small actions shows that you respect their culture and will help you build trust and good relationships.
Actually, Mr. Ufa, this clause in the contract seems unfair. We cannot agree to it.
Relax. Let us not argue. Our culture values harmony, dignity. Perhaps we can involve a senior advisor to help us.
Yes, that might help us finding balance.
Inshallah. We will find a solution that protects both sides with fairness and equal. Let's go. See you soon, Mr. Rais.
Alright.
Now, from our final role play, we see that conflict in Saudi Arabia is not handled through open agreement, but through dignity, privacy, and regulation. Let me explain how this works and why it matters. In Saudi Arabia, public conversation is avoided because it risks damaging honor, respect, and good harmony. Open agreement can cause loss of face, which is deeply discouraged. Instead, Saudi prefer private discussion where dignity is preserved. In Malaysia, while we also value respect, conflict may be more openly addressed in meeting or escalated to HR or formal grievance procedure. So the key message is nation must avoid challenging Saudi directly in public. What may feel like transparency to us may feel like humiliation to them. Another critical aspect is the role of mediation. In Saudi culture, respected elders, advisor, or senior leader are often brought in to resolve dispute. This reflects both Islamic value of reconciliation and a collectivized approach where harmony is prioritized over winner and argument. In Malaysia, mediation exists but often rely on formal contract, HR processes, or even legal system to settle disputes. This means Malaysian should view mediation not as a weakness, but as a respected way of resolving issues while protecting the relationship. Conflict resolution in Saudi Arabia is associated by Islamic value. The Quran emphasizes fairness, justice, and reconciliation. Saudi often use religious principles such as forgiveness, patience, and respect to guide conflict management. For Malaysians who are also from a Muslim majority context, this can be a breach of understanding, but we must recognize that Saudi may apply this value more formally in business setting. So the third key point is Malaysia should approach conflict resolution in Saudi Arabia with an Islamic mindset of fairness, patience, and mutual respect. Finally, conflict management in Saudi Arabia prioritizes long-term relationships rather than short-term victories. Even if a class of issues seem unfair in the moment, Saudi will look for solutions that preserve the relationship for the future cooperation. Malaysia, on the other hand, may sometimes push for immediate fairness through written agreement. This difference can create tension if not managed carefully.
In conclusion, negotiations are built on trust and patience.
Bargaining is expected and seen as respect.
Decision as hierarchical with influence from personal connection.
Communication is formal with strict respect for titles and non-verbal cue.
Conflicts are managed through mediation and preserving dignity. All success in Saudi Arabia comes from
Patience
Respect.
And cultural awareness.
Shukran jazilan.